Three grown men with stuffed toys. Anyway, hello. How are we? It's me, John, one of the hosts here on the channel. I'm going to be joined by, as you can see, Sam holding Chrysalis. Oh, just give me a second. I'm getting feedback. There we go. All right, so Sam's holding Chrysalis. So we have Sam and Chrysalis, and we have Lawrence, our friend Lawrence, with the 20% cooler pony, Rainbow Dash. And I am joined by the two chilling in the background, Tempest and Rainbow Dash. I do actually have a Spike somewhere, but I can't find him, so I think he's lost.
My Spike's behind behind the ones up there.
Yeah. Right. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody been since our since about how long has it been since we did a stream?
But it feels like it's been a long time, a year maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really get to do streams that often, but this is a special stream because for the first time ever, all three of us will be at Ponycon this year.
Yes, we will all be there.
Yeah, all three of us. It's family. Yeah, the last. Well, this will be your fourth time going in a row, but like I say, I was supposed to go to all of them, or at least the first one, but I just couldn't afford it at the time. And one of the years I was transitioning from a past job to a new job, so yeah. But yeah, UK Ponycon, we're going to talk a little bit of that in a moment. But seeing as all three of us are all caught up with the main series G5 Make Your Mark, we can have a three-way discussion about our thoughts on that. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to do a pre-UK Ponycon discussion afterwards to close us all off. So, Lawrence, seeing you've not been on for a while, do you want to start us off and what your thoughts are on Make Your Mark?
Well, I say I think I personally feel it's really grown on me over time. So I certainly don't have the admiration for it, that I have for Friendship is Magic. I don't think any of the the main fans do, but I say from going on the fence about it, from watching the New Generation film to going through the chapters of the series of Make Your Mark, I really am coming to enjoy it now. I say what was kind of a bit off-putting at first was how much they've modernized it with technology. Say all magic's been taken out of Equestria, but now that that's back, and that they've blended it with the use of technology and all the real world antics. But I've grown to like the characters. I've grown to like the story. Of course, and the music is also still very good for this season. This generation, so
yeah, it is. I mean, that's one side of it that I agree with, is that the music's still pretty good for Make Your Mark. I must admit that there's some bloody good songs. I mean, especially in the are you caught up with chapter 5's, Lawrence?
Yes. I watched like the 7 episodes. I think I watched them all on the Monday night. I know there's one more chapter, isn't there? One more batch of episodes to come.
Yeah, there's chapter 6. Technically it's chapter 5, but they're going to make it a chapter 6, and there's one more special, and I think 3 or 4 more episodes after that, and then it's finished as a series. I don't know what's happening in the future, but yeah. I completely agree with what you say there with the music. I mean, just to alliterate on the new episodes, the latest episodes, there was a couple really quite nice songs in there. I did like Hitch and Misty's song. That was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, so I'm really growing to like Misty's character now. Yeah. She's quite relatable in ways. She's because she's kind of playing a double agent. And I think we know how it's panning out, that she's clearly on the main character's side. And
all the truth is, Misty was the bad guy all along.
Yeah. Oh.
And she sets fire to all of their houses when they're asleep. Anyway, no, I'm just saying. So just to finish off with you, Lawrence, at first, and then we'll move on because I can see Sam's itching. We're going to be about an hour with Sam's explanation. But what's your overall thoughts on Make Your Mark from the start of it with the movie to what's your opinion from the movie to now? What do you think?
I'd say I think it is actually a good series. You know, it's taken its time. You know, I've not disliked it in any way. What I have to take into account is that I started on the Gen 5 stuff, you know, still when I was still fairly behind on sort of Gen 4 with Friendship is Magic, but you know, now I've caught up fully with Friendship is Magic, and you know now being able to just focus on catching up with all the Gen 5. But no, I you know, for me personally, you know, it is a good series, and you know, I'm really growing to appreciate it now for what it is. So, you know, I think it is a good show.
Okay. Do you think there could be any improvement in the show, or do you think?
Yeah, I think they could. You know, I think certain things need a bit more of an explanation. Things need a bit more of an explanation. You know, I think in cases we're still getting a lot more questions than answers.
Yeah, there's a lot more question marks, definitely.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to you then, Sam, because I can see you're itching. What are your thoughts on Make Your Mark as a whole since the movie, and also what are your thoughts on the latest episodes?
Well. What do I think about the latest episodes? Well, I'm going to have to be rather blunt about a few things, everybody. Apologies in advance, but I'm going to be a little bit blunt. So, I really did not like the very first episode of the recent chapter. The way they dived into the whole cutie marks, how the rest of the new main six, as we're going to call them, how they got their cutie marks felt really kind of a very weak story. One of the things that did bug me a bit, spoilers if you haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to say this, so it's a spoiler. One of the things that really bugged me was like Sunny got her cutie mark because she split a glass of orange, I think it was lemonade, I think. She split a glass of lemonade between two other ponies, and that's how she got a cutie mark. It just didn't make any sense. It just, to me, it was like, right, but what is Sunny's talent? What's her ability? Like, what is it? Is it sharing? Is it making ponies happy? It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
I think it hints that she can sort of her talent maybe is sharing. I think that's what it hints at.
Well, I mean, I understand Misty's cutie mark. It's literally a butterfly representing change. I understand that because Misty is changing. Her character's changing, and I think that's what her cutie mark is all about. Very much it's her story, but this last couple of episodes, it didn't really grab me very much. Like the first episode, I wasn't impressed with. I really liked the episodes that focused on Misty. I'm really hoping that they actually expand more on it in the coming finale. Like, I want to know how on earth did she end up with Opaline? How did that happen?
I say because we know now that we know now that the old pony, in Pony Time is her father.
Yeah, Alphabetal.
Yeah, we know now. So yeah, how did she end up with Opaline? Did Alphabetal have to give her up or what? And
well, the thing is, when they were doing the whole flashbacks with Misty in the recent episodes, a part of me, I know this was really, really jumping the gun, and it was definitely asking for too much. But because of the next part is called Secrets of Starlight, a part of me was hoping the mystery pony would turn out to be Starlight Glimmer. I had this whole theory in my head that Misty was the daughter of Starlight Glimmer, which would actually have explained a lot. I mean, it was nice to see the Breezes again. Don't get me wrong; it was good that they brought the Breezes back. But I just feel like they're really kind of wasting a lot of stuff within the series. And then Opaline, I gotta be blunt. I know Lawrence. I know you're a big fan of Opaline, but I just don't see her as a villain. As a villain, she's more comedic.
I mean, yeah, I get what you mean. I don't know. Are they going to do are they going to have like a redemption story arc? Or, I mean, so she's not on par with Discord or Tempest or like the characters from Gen 4. She's nowhere near.
No, I just feel like with Opaline, she sort of has all this potential to be a serious villain, but she so far hasn't. I mean, all we know about her is she was banished by Twilight at some point, and because she wanted to sort of absorb all the magic in Equestria. We know she's a fire Alicorn, like she controls fire, and it's a bit vague about how her imprisonment works, because from what we understand, she's banished from Equestria, but Misty is able to go back and forth from Opaline's castle to Mertan Bay. So why can't Opaline? Like, we've seen Opaline leave that castle in the previous chapter when she was looking for that dragon magic thing.
Yeah, Sparky's dragon magic.
Yeah, but if she can do that, why can't she go to like Mertan Bay? I mean, she's only able to go to Mertan Bay now due to some unexplained magical mishap that lets her temporarily travel there. But
yeah, because she went there, but she got to Maritime Bay, but people but the other ponies didn't realize, thought she was like an attraction for the party, didn't she?
Yeah, exactly. But again, that ruins it. That kind of makes her less of a villain. And again, how the hell does her imprisonment work? It's never really been explained. As I said, Misty can go from Opaline's castle to Mertan Bay and back again, but apparently Opaline can't do that. Why? It's just there's so much needs explaining, and it's not being explained. And I want to know more. I want to know more about Opaline. I want to know more about sort of the past of like what led to the three races splitting and the unity crystals and everything up to that. And I don't think we might get some of it, because considering it looks like Starlight Glimmer will potentially play a big part in the finale. We could learn a lot more in the final 4 episodes. But if they're going to squeeze in that much content into 4 episodes, yes, one of them's a special, so it's just shy of an hour long. They really must have bottled a lot up. But I just want to see more fleshing out of the characters.
Yeah, to be honest, I do agree with what you're saying with that, Sam. I mean, I share some similar opinions to you with Make Your Mark. I mean, when Make Your Mark first started with the movie, I love the film. The film is fantastic. The animation is like Pixar quality. It's fantastic.
Yeah. The animation is brilliant. I mean, I say the only thing is like with Gen 4, I think with Friendship is Magic, a lot of its appeal maybe to the older fans, like to the bronies and to the older fans in general, was that it was like a traditional 2D cartoon. But I suppose if they're going to do a new generation, because what I recently found out was that I'm not at all really familiar with Gen 1, 2, and 3. I can't really get into them, but like those were all separate continuities. Whereas this is the first time that they've kept the next gen in the continuity with the previous one.
It is, yeah. This is actually the first time. I will agree with you there. I don't like Gen 1, Gen 2, or Gen 3. I just can't get into them whatsoever.
And what I heard was that there was a human character. I think was it Gen 2 or that there was a character called Megan, a human character that a human girl that could.
I genuinely don't know. I haven't watched any of them, to be honest. So the original two gens or whatever. I also don't know. But yeah, I mean, my opinion on Make Your Mark, to try and draw things on with it, it's, for me, it had a promising start with the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then we got the special after the movie. And then everyone was like, oh my God, what they've done with the animation. A lot of people had problems with the animation style. You could see that there was a big dip in quality compared to the movie. But I understand it was meant to be a theatrical film. It was originally supposed to be in theatres, in cinemas, the film. But then obviously Netflix got the rights to just have it as an exclusive stream on Netflix.
I think that was probably the best thing. I think if a lot of people had paid to go to the cinema for it, I think likely it would have been a disappointment. I think releasing it on Netflix releasing it on the streaming service was the right way to go.
Yeah, I do. I generally think they would have probably lost a lot of money with it being in cinemas. I mean, I wouldn't say it would have been a complete total loss. I think it would have done well with young kids, little kids.
Yeah. Because ideally, it would have been more targeted. You'd have got kids, newcomer kids coming into the franchise. So
exactly.
Whereas people like ourselves, like the bronies and the adult fans, all the adult fans, I think they would have felt let down by it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the Make Your Mark did quite well with bringing in another generation of fans. At least that's one good thing for Make Your Mark. The kids that, some people that probably didn't really watch Gen 4 or probably watched a little bit of it but never really bothered with it. There is quite an increase because apparently since Make Your Mark started, there has been a lot more people going through the door at conventions. Which
I mean, Sam, I don't think it was last year's Ponycon, but the one before 2021, the first one after lockdown. I think we met someone in Britannia Buddies. I think who said he'd come along just because he'd watched the Gen 5 movie and hadn't seen anything before that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was one of the committee members. He basically said that a lot of the people that had come to Ponycon that year, it was the first pony convention, and a lot of them had come because of the G5 film. So the G5 film did result in a lot of people going to Ponycon that year. Surely out of interest because they wanted to know more about the fandom.
Yeah, and clearly, so it clearly has generated sort of new people to the Brony fan base.
It will do, and I've no doubt, Gen 6 and beyond, if there is plans for a Gen 6, will attract new fans as well. But Gen 4, Friendship is Magic, will always be unique. It will always be.
It will. I mean, it will in ways. I mean, because partly the reason, the first thing I watched, I'd heard of like the bronies and stuff before, and I'm thinking, right, I just want to check this out because I just want to find out, what it is that's, why this show's appealing to sort of young to middle-aged men and to all the fans. And it's like, first thing I watched was like the first Equestria Girls film.
Let's tell you what, let's go around because I think it's worth talking about this on a live stream. I know we've mentioned it in videos before, but let's just do this real quick, right? So with me, with Gen 4, Friendship is Magic, I got into it sheerly out of curiosity. It started out with, coming across, pictures on DeviantArt, random articles. The stuff kept popping up all the time on the net about G4. And, I got kind of curious as to why it was becoming so popular. Because obviously I knew about My Little Pony, obviously from the 80s, 90s stuff. But I didn't know anything about this new series. And I was very curious as to why is it so popular. At the time, I didn't know anything about the Brony fan base, but I knew it was popular. So what happened with me was one day, just flicking through television. I remember it was a Sunday afternoon, And I was flicking through telly, and then I came across whatever channel it was, and literally just about to start was MLP, Friendship is Magic, season 1, episode 1. So I just thought, you know what, give it a watch. And I liked it. And then I found myself thinking after the episode, well, there's a part 2. I want to know what happens to the internet. And then, later by the end of the afternoon, I'd binge watched all of season 1. And I thought to myself, I can understand why people like this. It's the animation's really good. The characters are really good. The music's really good. And I think that was just it with me. It was just a case of I enjoy this because it's been a long time since I've seen an animated series this good. I think that's why I became interested in it, and I connected well with certain characters. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. Lawrence, your story. What's your story, mate? How did you get into it?
Well, I remember seeing the report that the BBC did, sort of on the Bronies, and my mum and I were watching it, and I thought, wow. I mean, obviously, I wasn't, when I was a kid, there were various franchises, a couple of franchises I got passionately into that were aimed at the female audience. Like, I liked Princess Starla, otherwise known as like Princess Guinevere. There was Sailor Moon, really like that. But I never got as far into it as collecting like the merchandise or anything. But then when I saw that, the report that the BBC did, and my mum and I were watching it, and we were like astounded to hear that, that these grown men were, going and spending hundreds to thousands of pounds on merchandise or custom plushies. And then later, I remember talking to a friend, and he told me, and I heard about, I was telling him about this. I was telling about this friend, about this thing that the BBC had reported on about the Bronies, and he said to me, "Well, no, I've watched every episode on the internet." I said, "Wow!" So a bit later on that year, I thought I want to have a look at this. Now, this was before I had any streaming services, and I wasn't aware that you could watch the series on YouTube or whatever. So I went into, I think it was the local Argos, and looked, because I've seen that they had some cheap MLP DVDs. One I could find was, I think, was the first Equestria Girls film. So I bought that for a few quid, and I watched it, and I liked it because the first Equestria Girls film, at the beginning, it lets you see the ponies in Equestria in the pony form, and then Twilight and Spike, they become their Equestria, their humanoid versions when they enter the Canterbury High. And I thought, actually, yeah, I'd really like that. And then, obviously, what I decided to do was I watched the Gen 4 movie. When that came out, I got a copy of that and I watched it, and I really liked it. And then I looked up at Netflix, through obviously talking to you guys, because this was around the time that you guys set up this channel. And then after that, I noticed that the first 5 seasons were on Netflix. So I thought, I'm going to give this a watch. So I started watching the series. I'm like, I really like this. And then within a week or two, I started buying merchandise. And now I'm a really passionate brony. The only negative that I've had is it took me so long to get caught up with everything. But it's glad it finally happened.
Yeah, it took me a while to catch up as well, to be honest with you. I mean, my story with Sam's question, with how I got into it, was I knew about MLP, obviously, with Gen 1, the 80s and 90s stuff, as everybody has. Kids of a certain generation knew about it. I saw all the advertisements on TV for all the toys, for, directed at girls and stuff, Barbies and stuff. It was all over the place. And but as a kid, I never really gravitated towards it because I knew it was more directed to young girls, obviously, not really boys. And I knew about Friendship is Magic. It had probably been airing for about 2 seasons by the point I first started watching it, and basically, I knew about it. I had no intention whatsoever to watch it. I had no thought process whatsoever from a mind of interest. And then one day, as Sam said, I was literally just skipping through the channels, as you do, channel hopping, and I come across Pop, the cartoon channel called Pop, and on Freeview, and it was already about. I think it was about halfway through the episode, and it was just a random episode. I think it was from season 2 or season 3. I can't remember, but it was one of the later seasons. A couple seasons in this episode. It was just a random episode, and it was the episode where Spike is trying to make a cake for Rarity, and he keeps eating the gems, and it made me chuckle. And like I said, I only watched like half of that episode because obviously it had already been on for about 15 minutes, and so I watched it right to the end, the ending of that episode, and I thought that wasn't too bad. So I went back because it had a channel where it was like +1, so like an hour later. So I went back and I watched it, the whole episode from start to finish. And then I was like, that surprised me. That wasn't actually too bad. And then curiosity started like picking at me. And I was like, to the internet, like Sam said, and I checked out episode 1 or season 1.
Yeah.
I watched about 5 episodes in one night, and I was like, shit, this is another rabbit hole I've gone down. And I was like, yeah, this is good. I actually quite like it. And I instantly fell in love with Rainbow Dash within the first episode because Rainbow Dash's character got me into it. It got me into it because the other characters, don't get me wrong, Twilight was funny. Her little outbursts, her panic attacks and stuff, it was quite funny. But Rainbow Dash appearing for the first time was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
She literally she drew me in. And
her storylines in series is good because, like ponies would pick on her because she'd like crash and like nickname her Rainbow Crash and stuff, and which I think is quite it's quite a relatable character trend, as the clumsiness and
she is. That's the thing. That's the thing with Gen 4. What makes it special is each character has personality traits to everybody. Everybody can relate to at least one of those characters, and that's the perfect balance. That's why I think it's gravitated such a big fan base and a generational gap like it has, because each of the characters represent an element of harmony, loyalty, friendship, all this kind of stuff. But if you truly look into those characters, and as the series progresses and you start getting a bit more of character development from them, with Rainbow Dash, she's confident. She represents the embodiment of confidence in oneself. However, she also understands, but she's loyalty as well. So she's loyal, confident, she's sporty, she's competitive, and that represents a lot of people out there. And then you've got Applejack, who is hardworking. She's also competitive, confident, and strong. So she represents those. And then obviously you've got Rarity, who's all about fashion. So you got your fashion types, and she's into her beauty stuff, hair salons and stuff like this. So that represents that side of it. And then you've got Fluttershy, who is shy. She's reserved. She's into herself. She's not as confident, and that speaks volumes to people in a lot of situations. She's not social. She's not very social until she meets all of the friends. She starts to come out of her shell a little bit more, but she was very shy and to herself. And, so each of the characters, they all represent normal human emotion. And I think a lot of series don't really emulate that very well.
No, they don't.
I think that's kind of what makes Friendship is Magic so good, because there were well-developed characters with all these traits that anyone watching it can relate to. It's like,
in similar ways, like what I was saying before, kind of why I think one of the reasons I also like, what I like about the setup of the Friendship is Magic is, given, I had other mild interest in certain things that were aimed at the female audience when I was younger. Like, I loved Powerpuff Girls, and obviously that has connections with MLP because that was, Lauren Force worked on that, because it was created by her husband, and obviously Tara Strong. You had Tara Strong, and and in some ways, I think from the main six, like I really liked Pinkie Pie's character because I liked how she kind of identifies, like there have been rumors like, does she have like ADHD? Is she like the character because she's constantly just on the go all the time, and she was just. I was kind of thinking, she's kind of, and I think certain people can, identify with her because she,
Well, exactly. I mean,
mannerisms and her, but given that she's a true friend, and
well, that's it. I mean, like I say, Pinkie Pie, she represents the party. The character likes to party. She likes to make people happy. She likes to make people laugh. She also has kind of some sort of high functioning, she has something to make her so energetic.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite episodes focused around her was when she had the bagpipes thing. She had like, and she's like getting like driving everyone up the wall with it. Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I love all the characters equally. They're all really good characters.
And I like the side characters. Obviously, I mean, Luna is my all-time favorite. But I say, and the story mark with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, that they were their development was really good. With the fillies.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the CMC, but I generally think how they finally got the Cutie Marks was a little bit shit, personally. They all have literally the exact same, slightly different altered, but they actually have the exact same Cutie Mark design. But yet each of them are slightly animated differently to make them individual.
I love that episode. Cute as it, Crusaders of the Lost Mark. That's personally for me, that is the best Cutie Mark Crusaders episode. The only thing I would say that. The only real weakness I have with their characters is that they very clearly set up their Cutie Marks, their true talents back in like season, basically in like, I think it was season 1. And by season 5, that whole concept's gone out the window. And effectively, they went down the route of making the Cutie Mark Crusaders, like their talent, their Cutie Marks were all linked into being the Cutie Mark Crusaders. But if you ever look at any of the earlier episodes with them in it, there's very clear undertones to their natural talents. Like Sweetie Belle is very obviously a natural singer. There's an example.
That was Scootaloo with the scooter, basically.
And all that gets thrown out the window. And I agree that that's a bit of a wasted thing. But I still love that episode because I think it's just the strongest Cutie Mark Crusader episode.
And Apple Bloom is Applejack's niece, isn't she?
Sister,
little sister. So, and the connection, there's how she, having Applejack as the sisterly role model was.
I mean, there was a theory for quite a while that Sweetie Belle was actually Rarity's daughter. Obviously she isn't, but before obviously Rarity's parents came into it, there was a big fan theory that Sweetie Belle was the secret daughter of Rarity, and that Rarity was for whatever reason pretending that she was her older sister. But obviously that went out the window when their parents showed up for the first time.
Yeah. But yeah, to finish off what I was saying, for me, I mean, like I say, what makes or got me into it, like I said, was Rainbow Dash was kind of a big starting point. The kind of like as soon as Rainbow Dash came into it, she was infectious. She made me laugh. She just made me like bawl out laughing as soon as she came on the screen, and not many characters do that straight away. When I start a series, it takes me a bit of time to warm up to the characters sometimes, and
Yeah.
I was instantly drawn to her, and kind of everything she was doing, she was trying to make the situation better, but yet making it worse, and I was just like, kind of
like the character, like she means well, but she unintentionally makes things worse.
Exactly.
She learns she learns the lesson. It's
I mean, I see a lot in myself with Twilight. Sorry, I see a lot in myself. I obviously I don't have much of the confidence side, but I have the loyalty side of her character. I'm very loyal to my friends and family, and also when it comes to I try to make things better, but I always seem to mess up in the end and learn from it in the end as well. But it's like, I love Rainbow Dash from that first episode, and she drew me into it. And then I never even told Sam. I started picking it up, and then
we were watching it at the same time.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact we were both watching MLP at the same time. We're not saying anything to each other because we were both kind of thinking, "What the hell is he going to think?" And that I remember it so clearly that I was round at your place. I remember it. And you were just flicking through channels, and then you just stopped on an episode of MLP, and none of us said anything. We just sat there for like 5 minutes watching the episode, and slowly we turned and looked at each other, and it was like, "You watch this too, don't you? Isn't it brilliant?"
Yeah, I mean, kind of. In my case, my story is different because a bit different because I just kind of I checked it out of curiosity because of all the hype going around. But then I kind of think and I'm open with people. I'm open with certain people who know I watch the show, but I have other friends that are into it, and I don't know how open they are. I mean, it's just to say because one of the reasons that made me want to check out the series was because one of my best friends here in my local area told me, and also a couple of other people since have said to me, that they're fans of animation and movies and movies and media in general, but they said they practically watched the whole show, and I think, wow, well, this can't be too bad. So
yeah, I mean, to be honest, it kind of surprised me because obviously originally it was only going to be 3 seasons long. Lauren Forst, as you said,
yeah, she left after season 3, didn't she?
Yeah, she left after season 3, mostly down to the fact that she was only really wanting 3 seasons anyway.
Yeah,
she only wanted 3 seasons of the show. And then Hasbro started kind of overtaking situations, and she didn't like it. So
there's a lot of rumors that she apparently was kind of forced out by Hasbro. There's kind of rumors.
There's rumors and speculation that essentially Hasbro Sachs completely just overtook it. They just overtook proceedings. They knew they were kind of, as soon as they started seeing the figures, when season 3 started airing is when the Brony fan base started. That was kind of the starting embers, was roughly around season 3. And all of a sudden, pretty much within overnight, when season 3 finally wrapped up, and that was pretty much it, they pretty much kind of all of a sudden just saw this influx in figures and people watching the show. So people
the thing is, it's always more money for Hasbro, isn't it? It's just, but the thing is, it's a good thing though that it didn't end on the season 3, because then if it had, we wouldn't have got the great story arcs that we got that came afterwards.
No,
yeah, but it's like the original concept. The reason why season 3 is only 13 episodes is because it was largely so Hasbro would have, I think it was so they had enough money to do season 4.
Yeah.
Because originally, as you say, season 3 was going to be the end of it, but because by that point they realised there was this huge fan base that was...
It was because of the bronies. The brony fan base was what made it, what enabled it to continue.
Well, yeah. It did. I mean, the original plot line was just as season 3 ends. You know, Twilight is crowned the new Alicorn princess, and she flies off, and that was it. And in a lot of ways, I'm kind of glad it wasn't, because we got so much out of the later seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I mean, I'm kind of glad as well that Friendship is Magic didn't finish on season 3. I mean, we wouldn't have had, you know, it obviously if it finished prematurely at season 3, it wouldn't have had the impacts like it had, or like it did have in the end.
No.
It wouldn't have had much of an impact, and it kind of would have been like brushed under the carpet sort of thing. It was like, you know, it was a forgettable thing. But when it started getting better from season 4 onwards, in my opinion, because that's when they noticed the growth in demographic. Excuse me a sec. We've got some knobheads in the friggin'. Yeah, we've got some potential
haters.
trolls. Yeah.
I don't know those in a long time.
Yeah, because we've gone 10 o'clock, and they seem to kind of like get out the mother's basements at that time of night, aren't they? But yeah. Anyway, so let's get back to it. But yeah. What was I saying? I've kind of lost my train of thought now.
You were saying that Luna is the greatest pony, and she just outshines Rainbow Dash completely.
No. I wasn't saying that at all. Anyway, so yeah. So I can't remember what the hell I was saying. But anyway. But yeah, it's just for me. I think. Oh yeah, there we go. I remember now. I think the reason why, you know, I think it's a good thing that MLP continued past season 3. I think it's a good thing. It's just, you know, the development from season 4. This is what I was talking about. Yes, from season 4 onwards, I think is when it started to improve. You know, basically, I think from season 4 it really did start to improve because they saw the increase in the demographic with the audience. They saw that there was actually quite a large amount of boys watching the series, which does surprise them. And then they actually started seeing slightly older demographics, so like not kids, more like teens.
Yeah.
And then they started seeing there was adults watching it.
Yeah, they say like, you know, 13
season 4 onwards is when they started to. From season 4 onwards is when they started to kind of. Yeah, basically. Sorry, I think I'm losing train of thought. We've got people in the freaking comment section. But anyway, so yeah. So you know, everything's just making me lose focus tonight. But anyway, so let's bring this person in because it's losing my train of thought. So someone called Pant Inhaler. I don't actually know who this person is, unless I don't know. I'm gonna be careful, but it says hello, my fellow bronies or brownies. By accident, bronies autocorrect.
Bronies autocorrect. I know, yeah, because I know probably that Google doesn't, or your servers probably don't recognize bronies as a word. So
I know it does. It does actually recognize it.
It can do.
But no, we are all doing well. We're doing well. It is the weekend really finally, and we can all rest and not be at work, which is nice. So it's nice not to be at work.
And then it comes in saying Luna is pretty good pony. I personally think Diphtheria is a great one too. She's my OC, and she is in the colour ochre. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a brown sort of colour.
And do you? And this is to you, Lawrence. Do you use that as a? I get it. What? Sorry. This person isn't what he seems.
This person's a troll.
Yeah.
I've got him gone. Don't worry about it. No. I expected this at this time of night. But anyway, don't worry
It
about
has been a while since we've had to block trolls. I mean, we
What do
practically
you think? What do I use? What as a flashlight?
don't worry about it.
it.
Mate.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's been a while since we've had to block trolls, Lawrence. When we first started doing live streams like this, I mean, we had a bigger audience.
I think diphtheria is the name of a disease.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
is.
a pony called diphtheria.
No, the guy's just been funny, mate.
The guy's
Don't
just
worry about
drama.
it.
Don't look into it. He's just
Yeah,
a keyboard warrior that doesn't have a life. So don't worry about it.
Like John said, it's 10:15. You always seem to get people 10 o'clock onwards.
This is why
they have nothing better to do, so they just
Yeah.
go around looking for live streams and they just cause
Yeah.
problems.
This is why me and Sam tried to go about 7 o'clock, because it seems to kind of be if you
9 o'clock at the latest, because after like 10 o'clock onwards, you just get all the idiots.
Yeah, you just start getting a lot of assholes watching, and plus
The problem is we don't have any way of automatically blocking people. We have to manually do it.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, usually you can tell.
There is 2 people watching at the moment as well, so I'm going to be very careful. We don't know if these people, but we're watching, have got multiple accounts.
Well, no, you don't. But like I said, when we first started doing this, like what, 2 years ago now, 3 years ago. It would be about 3 years ago, because we started doing all the live streams with everybody during COVID, didn't we? We during the lockdowns and everything, we had like 10 people plus on here, didn't we? We'd have like 10 people on screen, and we're just talking about all sorts of stuff. And then 10 o'clock onwards, we'd always get the trolls and the idiots, and it took us ages to get rid of them all, because it was just blocking constantly, and eventually you don't get them anymore. But we haven't done this in ages because we've all been busy with stuff, so we're going to get them again, unfortunately. And as John said, anytime past 10 o'clock, you always get the idiots.
Yeah.
But don't worry about it, mate. Like,
I think he's talking about me vape. Do I use that as a flashlight?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Honestly, Lawrence, don't think about it.
Don't worry about it, mate. It's not worth worrying about.
I find it funny, to be honest. I find it funny.
I ain't got time for them, personally. Just, people, I don't want to go on a tandem here, but people will go out and judge us because of what we're talking about and the topics and all that. But we're normal people. We're like nobody else. I mean, we all work. We all go to work, do stuff. We're all living life in our own way, but we're enjoying our own thing. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, and if any more people pop up, because we do have some regulars, and there is one person that kind of has changed his YouTube name, and I don't recognise it like it used to be called.
There's a few that have. I've got. Hang on. Just to give you a shout out. Let me just have a look real quick. I've got some of the details on here. I think now.
There's one person watching at the moment. We'll carry on as we're going. We'll need to go on, but we'll probably.
Oh, that's it. Aaron New. That Aaron New, ERNU, Aaron New. Anybody under the name of Aaron New, that's fine. That's Ginger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Yep,
Ginger. Yeah, he goes by the name of Aaron New now, if I'm pronouncing his name right. So if we get anybody coming up with the name Aaron New, basically the profile picture will be a kind of like a little yellow pony with like a ginger mane.
Yeah.
That's one of us. That's one of our group. And also we've got Alpha. We all know who Alpha is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few others as well, but I can't remember the names off the top of my head. Again, I've no idea if they're still knocking about, because we haven't done one of these live streams for a long time, so I've no idea if the original group is still knocking around or not.
There will be, but it's a lot of them from different countries, and you don't know if they've kind of moved away from,
Well, Alpha hasn't. Alpha's still heavily into the community, but he does his own thing now on YouTube. And Ginger, let's say Ginger changed his name. I don't quite know what he's doing these days because I don't know, no idea. But yeah, as I said, unfortunately we lost a lot of the group. We had a really good group during COVID because we were on here most nights because we weren't doing anything. We had nothing to do work-wise because none of us were at work. So we were just on here most nights. Yeah, it's annoying, but yeah, don't worry about the trolls, Lawrence.
No, I know.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. It's not worth it.
Well, anyways, let's talk ponies, shall we? Anyway, so where to go from here? Anyway, we were talking about kind of the I was talking about the demographic thing from season 4 onwards. So when you notice that the demographic change from season 4 of Friendship is Magic, is when Hasbro started seeing the figure increases, and then they started kind of implement. I think it's season 4 onwards for Friendship is Magic gets much better because they start to implement things like pop culture references, certain things that people of a certain age will understand. They tried to emulate that with Make Your Mark.
I mean, they've had like modern day references, even to sort of classic movies, but with the pony touch to them.
Yeah,
like in the movie there was was it Paws for Jaws?
Yeah,
and something I didn't notice, but there was actually on a screen you could see somewhere that an episode of Gen 1 was playing, and obviously maybe Gen 4, maybe this Gen 5 is maybe now this modernized technological universe. Maybe the previous, maybe other than Gen 4, maybe the previous gens exist as a fictional franchise.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, Friendship is Magic. It was a special series. It really was it was a defining series. It kind of defined the MLP brand. It really did. I mean, don't get me wrong. The original stuff like Gen 1, I mean, end of the day, when My Little Pony started as a cartoon, as a toy line, it was more obviously for girls. It was more obviously fully up for girls because obviously you could comb their hair and you can do this.
Yeah, I know.
But it's one of those things is that it's really Lauren Faust she is really good with her imagination and bringing it to life because the main reason behind Friendship is Magic being made is her concept for it was that's how she used to play with her pony.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She sort of with her My Little Pony characters. She used to play act these stories. Because what I remember hearing was, have you guys watched the episode of The Toys That Made Us about MLP?
Yeah,
yes.
That's where she explained this. That because the original idea for the merchandise and everything was that little girls could have ponies that they could play with like their Barbie dolls and that.
That's 100%. I mean, it's that kind of like she kind of like introduced like different, it wasn't just ponies. There was like different toys in there, and it's kind of like a child's imagination coming to life, and that's why with Friendship is Magic, you had not just ponies, you had different races, different animals, different things from different countries and different places.
Dragons, and I like the rivalry between the ponies and the dragons.
But yeah, I mean, to me, getting back onto Make Your Mark, because obviously we kind of gone off on a tangent. I mean, I don't want to compare Friendship is Magic and Make Your Mark too closely, because even though they are connected by canon, they are connected with continuity.
Yeah.
However, they are two very different series. They're not trying to emulate one another. The characters might have some similar traits to them for Make Your Mark, but they are their own characters, and I like that idea from it. If you're gonna do a continuation, or if you're gonna do a Gen 5 or Gen 6 or whatever, I don't, unless it is meant to be a direct sequel, then okay. But if it's meant to be something like with Friendship is Magic and Make Your Mark, there is a big time gap between the two. So
it's
when
like nearly 1,000 years, isn't it?
Nobody knows a true number, a true figure.
At least we know it's like hundreds of years.
That's the thing. Nobody really knows. Nobody's answered that question as how many years it's been since the coronation of Twilight to this point. Because what I don't understand, it's almost as if, I don't know if this is intentional or if it's a mistake or what, I don't know. But it's like when you see Twilight's message, the holographic projection.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Twilight is the Twilight we remember.
Yeah, the younger Twilight. So.
She's the younger Pony. She's not the Pony at the end when she was, on her coronation day. So the events of what happens with Opaline must predate her. That it must predate or possibly happens before her coronation, which wouldn't make much sense because I don't know. It's just like the thing is what you find out with Make Your Mark. There's a lot of question marks. It's quite confusing, really, I think. But it's like with Opaline, she grew up with, or she knew Celestia and Luna as a filly. When they were all fillies, when they were younger. So if Opaline's still alive, Celestia and Luna must still be alive. And Twilight must be alive. But are they getting away from the fact that she became Celestia-like Twilight? Are they going away from that? Or are they trying to keep her the Twilight we remember? I don't know what they're doing with that. Because there's a time gap with the final episode of Friendship is Magic, isn't there? I don't know how many years it is.
Twilight as an adult, a real adult pony, and then you see Spike's grown to full size.
Yeah.
Honestly,
if I would have guessed,
yeah,
I'd say 25 to 30 years.
Yeah, I didn't like what they did with Spike, how he grew like that. I understand they wanted to make him grow, but how they changed his appearance. He looks more like he kind of did in sort of the Gen 1 period, because I know he was a character from.
Yeah, I don't know really. I think I don't know what they're trying to do with Make Your Mark. I generally think that they had an idea, and it's almost as if they just lost their way with it, and I think Netflix. I don't know if it's a Netflix thing. Maybe Netflix have been quite evasive with how they want the series to go, and Hasbro, even though it's a Hasbro property, they should have full creative control, Hasbro, because it's their property. Netflix are only kind of working with them, in order to get it out there as a streaming platform. They're not really Netflix are not really a part of the process or the production of it. That obviously they'll be putting the money towards this project. They'll be putting some of the money towards it, but yeah, it's not there. They've got no in-house artists working with it. They're not like the past studios that have worked on MLP.
No.
But basically, what's MLP Make Your Mark? It's a combination of quite a few people. Obviously, Hasbro, E1 Entertainment, Netflix, and Boulder Media. Because Boulder Media, Boulder Media are the ones that are doing the Make Your Mark series. And then there's another animation studio. So there's a fourth studio that covers these specials. So there's 4 entities a part of this whole thing, and I kind of think there's some sort of communication breakdown somewhere when it comes to something. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks with Make Your Mark, and obviously Tell Your Tale must be doing better.
I know, literally more like make your question mark.
Yeah, it is. It's a confusing storyline, because for me, what really annoys me with Make Your Mark is to finally kind of come to an end on this part, because we want to talk about UK Ponycon at some point. But yeah, basically, for me, what really annoys me with Make Your Mark is me and Sam were talking about this before we went live, and you can feel the series go somewhere, and then when a new chapter starts, it's almost like a step back, and then it goes again, and then a step back, and then it goes again, and it goes a step back. It's almost as if they're afraid to keep going forward, and that annoys me. Really does annoy me. I can't stand it when a series starts going somewhere, and then, oh, let's have a joke. Let's have a couple episodes where we do nothing and just kind of do nothing, and then we'll go again. And it pisses me off to no end with Make Your Mark. But don't get me wrong, I love the characters. I like the characters. The world's interesting. The fact that technology's about now, cool. But the story is absolutely shit. It's almost as if the writers don't know what they're doing, as if they don't know anything from the past French people.
Yeah, it seems to be it's more heavily just for merchandising. Because don't get me wrong, like the characters make good merchandise. Apart from the fact that there doesn't seem to be a lot of merchandise about, because
not a huge amount. No, I said G5 just has not had the impact G4 had.
It hasn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. Make Your Mark makes up for it with the songs. There's some bloody good songs in Make Your Mark. Some really quite heartfelt, very strong songs.
As I say, and also like the things I had to catch up on Gen 4, because I still had, a lot, I still had nearly a third of the series to catch up with, even after last year's Ponycon, which I finally did. Kind of over the course of 2 weeks, I binge watched from where I was on season 6 all the way to the end of season 9. And, I like, a lot of the songs, I hadn't heard of, I really like there was some Spike song, a Changeling Can Change. I really love that song.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, there's some bloody good songs. I mean, like I say, just in these, the Chapter 5 episodes, we've hardly spoken about the Chapter 5 episodes when being on for over an hour. But anyway, so the Chapter 5 episodes for me, there was I think it was 2 or 3 songs throughout the new episodes, roughly, maybe 4. But 2 of them really kind of spoke to me. The group, ensemble song where they're all kind of singing to each other. All the characters are singing basically in that one song. That was really good. Misty was singing in it, everyone.
Yeah.
And then the second song with Hitch and Misty, them singing together as a duet. That was actually a really good song. That was actually my favorite for the new episodes, because you don't hear Hitch really getting involved in the songs that much, and it was the first couple songs where Hitch was involved in the duets.
Yeah.
Because Hitch really, from the movie, he actually had quite a big fan base. He had quite a lot of people that really liked Hitch from the film.
Yeah. And they kind of downplayed him a bit, haven't they?
They've really downplayed his character. He's now kind of useless. And I think they've done it on purpose. I don't know if it's maybe an agenda thing. I'm not going to go down that.
No, as I say, without being, it does seem to be the thing about MLP is that the female characters have the primary focus.
Yeah,
I think like characters from Gen 4, you had, obviously, you had your Discord, Spike, obviously Spike, and then you had your characters like Mac and. To be
quite honest with you, I kind of knew this would happen. The fact that this is the first time where there's been a male main character in an MLP series ever. Yeah, Spike, but Spike wasn't a main character. He was a secondary character, and he wasn't part of the main 6. He was literally just it was
character.
It was the mascot basically. That's what it was. He was supposed to be more, and they just made him the mascot, you know. But with Make Your Mark, it's like you can tell it has promise, but yeah, they just will not make it more than what it is. It's certainly lost a lot of quality since the movie. The animation for the main core series episodes is beautiful still. It's not as good as the movie animation.
No,
It's still decent at the same time.
Oh, yeah. If you want to talk about the animation for G5 for a moment, yeah, the G5 film animation was just beautiful. It was absolutely spot on perfection. But then when Chapter 1 came out, oh, it was awful. Like the very first Chapter 1, like the faces are deadpan. There's no emotion or expression in anybody's faces. It's like watching a horror film. It's just like kind of like, so it's like, hi, how are you today, Sonny? I'm good, Izzy. Hitch, how are you? And there's just no expression. It's like a bloody horror film. If you pause it on any of the characters in the first chapter at any point, there's nothing in the eyes. They're like a dead inside look. And it's really creepy.
You know, you can't really always expect. The budget for the movie was obviously
higher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but to think though that they had such a drop in animation, I mean a huge drop, says really just how much budget they had for the film versus the first part of the series.
Yeah, there is a massive drop. I mean, obviously from when the Make Your Mark film, and then we had the special, and that's when I know where you're going with this because we got the special between the movie and the series started, didn't we? And that was the bridge gap. That special was the bridge gap between the events. And then basically the dramatic difference, because I think it's Boulder Media that are doing the primary series animation. And then I think it's another animation studio that's working on Tell Your Tale and the specials. And apparently this other, I can't remember the name of this other studio, but apparently they're very hit and miss. They're very hit and miss. Some stuff's on point, some stuff's shit. And that other studio that primarily works on the specials, and I think the Tell Your Tale stuff, I assume it's Tell Your Tale stuff. But anyway, there's another studio that does the specials. It's weird. I don't know why they just don't do it under the same roof. I don't know. But anyway. And from seeing the beautiful animation of the movie, and then we go straight to the special, expecting not maybe the full-on grandeur of the movie, but still decent, and then we just get a horror story. It was kind of like said, expressionless, dead eyes. There was just no emotion. There was nothing to them, and then. When Make Your Mark chapter 1 started, you could see there was a massive difference again in animation, and it actually peaked a bit more. You could definitely tell the difference between the special animation to the main story animation. There is a drastic difference. But for me, when Opaline comes into it for the first time, when she finally gets introduced, I think is at the end of chapter 1 or is it chapter 2 she comes in? I can't remember. Chapter 1, isn't it?
Opaline is first introduced at the very end of the G5 film.
Ah, yes. I apologize. Yeah, when you first see her introduced in the film, the very end, her animation is brilliant. But then when she comes into it in the series for the first time, where you see her for the first time, my God, oversaturation much. I don't know if anyone else noticed this besides me, but her color scheme palette. I mean, obviously the animation on her is a lot better now. I think they've sorted it, but at first I was like, has somebody gone on the saturation setting a little bit too high? Because it generally felt like that. Like everything about her, all of the features were just washed out because of the color of her skin, her coat.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but for me, I could not notice anything else, any defining texture. There was nothing. It was like when you've got a color palette, there's more than one color in something, isn't there? You know, when you look at a colour like for me, for instance, we are known as Caucasian white, but yeah, in that you've got pinks, you've got this, you've got different, you know, that makes up your skin tones. There we go. With Opaline, when we first meet her, she doesn't have any of that. She doesn't have any defining texture. It's like finalized texture. It's almost as if she was unfinished. You know what I mean? Unfinalized. I don't know. That was just me, but that was my artistic eye picking all that up because I draw and I know, you know, with shading and shading textures and this, that, and the other. So I didn't get that when she first comes into it after the film, but now she looks fantastic now. But yet she's just not a good villain, like you were saying earlier. But oh, Sam, you're going bald on the top there, dude. You're coming up to me now. Anyway, sorry, that kind of trumped me out there. Sorry, Sam. But my God, it's like a lonely island on top of your head, Sam. Anyway, you were saying, Sam, Rainbow Dash is the best character ever. You're very true. Well, anyway, so let's move on. But anyway, so yeah, to finish off an hour and 11 minutes just talking about everything else but Chapter 5. Let's finish off this segment then, because we can move on to talking about UK Ponycon, and then we can probably bring this to an end, this live, because we've been over an hour now, and it is 20 to 11. So, Sam, we'll go to you first, and then we'll go to Lawrence, and then myself, and then we'll bring this segment to an end. Chapter 5 episodes. What are your thoughts on the current Chapter 5 episodes? What are your defining thoughts, and what do you think will happen, or would you like to see happen in the next coming episodes? Sam?
So far, it's been hit and miss for me. It's had some good episodes, some mediocre episodes, some just bad episodes. The music throughout has been brilliant. I fully agree on that. The songs, all of them, have been very good. For the finale, I need to see some really good writing. I need to see some solid writing, some genuine, really fleshing things out, and generally really have some high stakes stuff, like make Opaline a threat.
Yeah.
Like make her really feel like a villain. And also try and put a bit more backstory in it as well, like especially for Misty. And I'm hoping that it's going to have a future. I'm hoping that the MLP has something past Gen 5. But time will tell.
I can't see Hasbro killing it off, because it's their next to G.I. Joe and Transformers. It's their like third biggest thing they've ever made, toy wise, and it's probably their third biggest money maker. So I really can't see MLP finishing after Gen 5.
No,
I don't think it'll be with Netflix anymore. They might go somewhere else. But I don't know if Netflix have the rights past. I don't know if they have the rights past Gen 5 or not, but they only have the streaming rights. They have the streaming rights for the film. They managed to acquire the rights from HBO Max. There we go. HBO Max were being greedy twats, and they literally bought out every single film streaming rights over COVID area, and nobody else got a look in, except for a couple things like Prime Video, Amazon Prime, Netflix got a couple things, but primarily it was HBO Max, and we don't have HBO Max in the UK, so we were kind of frozen out of a lot of stuff, unless they struck a deal with Prime. And there was a couple of things that went up on Prime as an exclusive. However, luckily Netflix, they won the streaming wars, or the streaming bid, for My Little Pony, the new movie, and it was originally going to be in theatres, like I said. It was originally going to be in theatres.
It would have looked stunning, wouldn't it, if it was in theatres? But
it would have looked fantastic, because it's not 2D, it's 3D. It looks Pixar quality. So it would have done quite well, but yet they chose to stream it. They chose to stream it, put it up on Netflix, and I think that was a good thing because a lot of people saw it. A lot more people saw it than they put it in the cinema. And it got literally every country except for I think 2 or 3 countries that Netflix isn't available in. It was available worldwide except for
it had a limited run in the cinemas as well, but largely in Europe.
Yes,
a couple of 2 or 3 countries had a very limited cinema run for it.
Yes, yeah, it did. So yeah, but you were saying something. Did you want to finish off what you were saying?
Well, just saying, I just want to see better writing for the final parts, better fleshing out of characters like Opaline. I want to see her really shine as a villain, and hopefully that when it all ends, it'll end on a way that'll make sense. I think there'll still be a lot of unanswered questions.
I think there will.
I just think the writers just will not have the time anyway to go where they may want to go. So we'll see in about 2 months' time, but I'm not really holding my breath. I don't want to sound sort of non-optimistic, but I just don't think I don't know what to expect. But so far, Gen 5, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 at the moment. Just because I think it's not been bad, but it hasn't been great. It's very much in the middle. It needs a bit of work, and I can only hope that Secrets of Starlight is going to be its crowning jewel. But at the moment, for me, a 7 out of 10 altogether.
Yep. Okay. So, how about you, Lawrence? What were your thoughts on Chapter 5 episodes, the new episodes, and what would you like to see going forward with the latter episodes?
Well, I would like to see. I want to see. Yeah, I want to hear more about Opaline, and I want to, I want to see a conclusion to this story with her connection to Twilight, how Twilight imprisoned her. I would like to potentially see some more references to Gen 4. Maybe with the slight possibility, maybe of a character, coming back, or just more, just more. I just want more explanations, for the connections. I want it to sort of, I really want it to sort of even out a bit. I want to see things going forwards with storylines rather than kind of going backwards, forwards, and then, But yeah, clearly I want to see the final development for Misty's character. Is what I'm looking forward to, yeah, because the storyline with Opaline and Misty has me very interested. I just kind of feel like it is kind of dragging, but I would like to. I want to see a good conclusion to that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I completely agree with what you say there. For me, to finish off this segment of the stream, my thoughts on the newer episodes were, they were like I said, I kind of, I mean, a bit like this with the episodes that we've got in the new batch. The music, the songs made the episodes for me. Whenever there was a song in an episode, I thought they were on point. However, in the way the story's going, it didn't answer any questions from previous chapters. It just added more to that needs to be answered. It's just like I was saying earlier. It just feels every time a new chapter starts, it steps back. It takes a step back, and it's like, here we go again, and then back again. There's no continuity with the episodes between chapters. It's broken up between a chapter, a special, which is usually not even canon. There's only, I think, one chapter. There's only 2, I think. 2 specials we've had so far. that are actually canon, that actually represent something with the story, or actually are a part of the story. Because the Christmas special episodes or the holiday special ones are just bonus. They're not.
Yeah, like they had a Halloween one, and then they had the Christmas one.
Yeah, they had the Halloween one. But basically, right. So the way it goes, they're all together. There's going to be 4 specials. We've had 3 already. One special was the connecting special between the movie and the series, Make Your Mark. Then the second one was a holiday special, Christmas special. And the third one was Bridal Woodstock. That was the third one. The Bridal Woodstock one was actually canon because you could tell because they actually referenced some points from the series in it. So there's still one more special. When I don't know whether we're going to get everything all at once, so the special and the episodes will just get released at once.
I believe they are 23rd of November. I believe
right, so it's just going out straight as is.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I didn't know whether we'd get the special first and the episodes will follow up.
They're all together on the same day.
Right, okay. So yeah. So for me, I kind of am a bit deflated with Gen 5. I was very optimistic. I had a lot of optimism around. I wanted it to be a success. I knew it wouldn't be Frisbee's Magic. I knew it wouldn't be. It was trying to be its own series. The characters from when we first met them in the movie, in Gen 5 movie, I really liked the characters. I thought they've developed some good characters here. They have potential with more development. They have more potential. And then when we started getting in the Make Your Mark series, there was a drastic change with big noticeable change is Hitch. Between the movie and the series starting, Hitch is a big change. You go from the movie Hitch, if you look at the movie Hitch, he's a lot more driven. He feels a lot more like a sheriff. He feels a lot more like, a pony of law, basically. And then you go from that, even though there was some comedic things didn't work out for him, but yet he felt more solid as a character in the movie. And then you go to the series, and there was a drastic change which caused the fans of Hitch to not like him anymore and start going on to either Pip or Zip or someone else in the crew. So there's a drastic change with him. He's been drowned out with the fact that his responsibility now is to look after Sparky, the baby dragon. That's his responsibility, is to look after that child or that baby, which is fine, but that is his defining feature. There's nothing defining about him anymore. He's no longer. He doesn't feel like a copper anymore. I don't feel like the sheriff anymore. He just feels like all he is a childminder. He's just the childminder that happens to be friends with the rest of them. That's the only defining thing he has. He's had no development at all. He's literally just been left as he was, and he's looking after the kid, and that's pretty much all that defines his character. When it comes to the other characters, Izzy has pretty much stayed exactly the same from the film. Izzy's my favourite character from Gen 5, personally. I love Izzy. She gives me Pinkie Pie vibes, and
yeah, she does. She's kind of reminiscent, and
yeah, she's very reminiscent of Pinkie Pie. And to be honest, I won't be surprised if she's related. I really wouldn't.
No.
But anyway, so Izzy is my favourite character from Gen 5, personally. I just love her energy. The voice acting performance of Izzy is practically perfect to Kimiko Glenn, who was in the film. They are practically mirror opposite, and the energy and her character has pretty much stayed the same from the film to the series, and good stuff. Zip and Pip, I would say there's been more development around Zip and Pip than any of the other characters, with them being princesses and the royalty. they've actually had a pretty interesting arc. The fact that Zip Zip is a lot more of a tomboy. She's a lot more of a tomboy compared to her sister, and Zip basically wants to kind of distance herself. She doesn't like the idea of responsibility of being princess or to probably one day be the ruler of the land and that. She doesn't want that responsibility, so she's trying to distance herself, which that's good development. That's something to work on. And then when you've got Pip, she hasn't really changed much from the film. She's practically the same, but yet she's kind of like the rarity, isn't she, of Gen 5? She's the rarity. She's the fashion guru. But, some of the characters have stayed practically the same. It's just, like Sam was saying, that about Sonny. Sonny was his favourite character in the movie, but now it's Misty. So it just goes to show you that I will agree, Sonny has... Considering Sonny is supposed to be the title main character, Make Her Mark is supposed to be following her.
It's now very much following Misty.
Yeah, it's almost as if the writers have said, we don't really care for her anymore. So they've kind of made her secondary and put Misty in the forefront. They've really kind of put Misty there now. I just think they've missed a point. I think they've missed an opportunity with Make Your Mark.
Yeah.
I don't know who you could blame. I don't know if you could blame Hasbro or Netflix or E1. I don't know who you can blame for the decision of how the story has panned out. I don't know who you can blame because it feels like it's a communication breakdown between how many people are working on this goddamn thing. I don't know why you would overcomplicate it like that because MLP does not really need that many people or that many different people, that different because the thing is that Hasbro partnered with E1. E1 were the ones that helped to promote and also put the money towards the film. They are still in partnership with E1, even with the series, but yet E1, anyone that works for E1 as an artist, they're not working on the series. It's Boulder Media and this other company. So you've got, and also Netflix will have some sort of creative input because they put their name to it. So they will have some sort of creative input. So it could be Netflix. I don't know. There's a lot of people. Obviously, anything. There's a lot of people involved in the production of a series. I get that, but the fact is, I don't know whether it could be something as simple as a difference of opinion between different crews, different people working on it, or there just wasn't a good enough plan in place, and they realized this a few chapters in, and we can kind of tell by the writing that nobody seems to really give a shit. You can
I think part of the problem as well is the writers. There's probably too much. I don't want to say infighting, but I think there's just a bit too much kind of too many people. Best description would be too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Yeah, there's too many people making decisions and not enough people actually collaborating on the story. I think that's part of the problem. If you look, the stories change constantly.
Yes.
And right now they're focusing on Misty, which is understandable, but Sunny's entire story arc's just gone. She doesn't really have an arc anymore. So whether or not we'll ever get an explanation for her unicorn power. Sorry, I mean her alicorn power. That needs to be explained. Why has she got this ability to summon alicorn power? Where's it come from? And she's not she's a true alicorn either. It's more magic ingrained. Unlike when Twilight becomes an alicorn, Sunny can activate it, we're assuming at will now, and she gains effectively a magical projection of wings and a horn that gives her the abilities of an alicorn.
Yeah.
but just clearly not a full-blooded alicorn. So
No.
there's a lot that needs to be explained, and we will never get the explanations. Not when there's only 4 episodes left. We won't. Sadly, it would just work.
Yeah, I generally think that they've. I think they know that they've messed up a little bit with Mark. I think they kind of know, and you can kind of tell by the writing that there was originally kind of working towards something quite big, and it's now kind of like they've taken about 6 steps back with the story, and they just kept it something grounded. Which it is. It's a very grounded series. There's nothing wrong with a series being grounded to a degree, but yet you need some sort of plan. You need some sort of, because it gets boring and samey if you stay in the same ballpark with what's going on. Because it's like the way Make Your Mark starts or goes, in my opinion, how I see it, is each episode throughout the chapters, there's no continuity at all between them. It kind of continues to a degree, but yet, you get like a chapter of episodes, and it seems to be leading to something, seems to be going somewhere. Chapter 2. Wait a minute. What's going on here?
Yeah. Again, the back and forth, like it's trying to sell.
Yeah.
Chapters are trying to tell different stories.
Yeah, but the problem is with that is for me that's for me personally, each to their own. Everyone's got their own opinion about how things work and what they prefer, but for me it takes me out of the experience of watching it a little bit. It's like if you're working towards something, keep it going. That's the point. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of a break in the main. If what's going on is a little bit heavy or mature or a little bit dark, there's nothing wrong with injecting a little bit of fun in there just to break things up a bit without making it feeling, there's nothing wrong with mixing it up with things in certain aspects. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But that's all what Make Your Mark is. It's very grounded. It's constant, just mess around. And there just doesn't seem to be a direction. I mean, for all I know, these next episodes coming up might actually really define the series.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be surprised.
Really do a good job of answering questions that need to be answered. I don't know.
As I say, hopefully we'll be surprised, and
I mean, people that know me, I am a very optimistic person. I like to give things a chance. I like to give things a chance to improve. And but for me personally, there has been some points where I've gone, interesting. They've just referenced something from Gen 4. Oh, interesting. Twilight Sparkle's message, holographic projection. That's interesting. That's not been brought up anymore as to try and find out what Twilight was talking about, because it was actually kind of broken up, wasn't it? It wasn't.
It was, yeah. Zip's entire sort of investigation into that has just disappeared. It's like, what happened to that? That was a key piece of the story, and it's now just disappeared. They're not being talked about anymore.
I know. Well, anyway, so for me,
let's get on to the main point of this stream.
Yeah, we will do. But yeah, for me, on a closing point there is going forward. I agree all around that something more needs to happen with Opaline. Now that essentially kind of she has access to the world of the dragons, that could be quite interesting. That could cause a lot of problems because dragons are a lot more powerful compared to a pony. So that they could cause some devastation. They could cause some damage. I don't think they're going to kill anyone, but it's not that type of series, obviously. But I generally think I'm hoping going forward, there's more development, some big questions are answered, and it concludes it in a good way, and they don't do a cop out. I'm hoping it's just not going to be a cop out. That's just me. Well, anyway, so that's just coming to an end there. So I'm going to do a screen share now. Share screen.
I'm just going to quickly go and grab myself a drink.
All right. This is what I'm going to be talking about next. Let's wait for Lawrence to come back. It has been a bit of a... We've been on for over an hour. Not even one of the regulars has even come in. It's mad, isn't it? Just had a couple of dickhead knobheads in the comments. But anyway, what do you do?
Hi.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a little thing that we're doing in a week's time. Literally a week today. Actually, a week today at this time would probably be either be in the bar or retiring for the night. I don't know. But UK Ponycon 2023, for the first time, the three of us will be going along to this thing. So the whole point of this, with it being a pre-UK Ponycon, we can go around people and talk about what are your thoughts on Ponycon. Obviously this is my first, so I should really comment on this. So this is my first, but you and Sam, this will be your fourth year. Lawrence and Sam, this will be your fourth year in a row that I've been going to this. So what are your thoughts on it? What are your personal thoughts on UK Ponycon, and what are you looking forward to? So we'll start off with Lawrence.
Well, I think what I'm just looking forward to is the atmosphere, and meeting everyone, and obviously the shopping. But I say I want it to be more about the people, and I'm looking I'm looking forward definitely to the concert. I'm looking forward to meeting the guests. I'm just looking forward to being in the general atmosphere of Ponycon. Being around other people that are just the same. We're all in the same group. We all like the same thing, and we and we can chat. We can be ourselves. Being in that little nice haven of MLP fans. So yeah, I'm just looking forward. I'm just looking forward to just being there, having fun, having a laugh. And taking pictures, getting footage. So yeah, it's really hard when it comes to a convention like Ponycon, to put my finger on something I'm specifically looking forward to. No doubt if there is an event, it will likely, if there is an event the convention do, I think it will be the rock concert on the Saturday.
Okay, nice one. What about you, Sam?
Well, I'm looking forward to going again. I always like going to Ponycon. It's the atmosphere, it's the people, it's the general buzz, it's the sense of community, and it's just generally being able to sort of, I suppose, feel more comfortable in my own skin now, because it's sort of weird, but you just sort of feel when you're in a place where everybody there is there for one specific thing, MLP. You kind of feel more open to talk about it and sort of be more inclined to talk about it. But I'm just looking forward to it, Britannia's buddies, the the stalls, the concert, I'm looking forward to it all. And yeah, it's going to be good to have you there, Knowles, and have all three of us there finally. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting for me because, like I say, it's my first time going to this. I don't know what to expect. To be honest, there's not that much content out there from past UK Ponycons. Not many people really seem to vlog it or capture it in some way compared to other conventions. There's only kind of been the odd clip that I've seen from you and you, Lawrence, and from Sam from past events where you've kind of given a glimpse of it. But I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping it'll be. I'll find it a good weekend. I assume it will be. Obviously it's going to be interesting. Obviously, first time going to a convention and you've never been before, not really knowing what to expect. It can be a little bit daunting, but I'm going to be sharing it with Lawrence and Sam. So it's going to be good to get away for a few days, away from the road and race. It's going to be a good distraction. I've been wanting to do a pony convention for as long as I've been a fan of French Biz Magic. I've watched a lot of videos in regards to like AC Race Best, where he does his convention vlogs of the ones in America. When he used to go to Ponycon, when Ponycon was a thing. That's no longer about anymore, obviously, but that was like the biggest convention. So like Ponycon or whatever it was, and then you had all these different conventions. There's still a fair few of them still are knocking about, which is good. But watching the community stuff like that, the American side of the Bronies and Pegasisters and stuff, and just seeing how much fun they were having and how good friends they were, and they all kind of met through the show, and they were from different leagues, from different parts of from the fan base as well. So you had people that were actually voice actors and fans together. Like AC Race Best, he knows a lot of the voice acting talent, and he's friends with Michelle Krieber, who plays Apple Bloom. Is also friends with forgotten now. Is it Claire Collette? Who played Sweet Belle? Yeah. So he's friends with those two. And also he's friends with Gabriel Brown, who's also known as Black Griffin. And he's a voice actor and also a musician as well. So he knows. So it's interesting, kind of like looking at it from that perspective, where So from watching those videos, it got me into it, and it kind of got me into the fan base, and I thought I'd like to be a part of that. I'd like to experience it. Now, UK Ponycon, it's obviously a much smaller affair compared to those conventions, but it's going to be my first step through the door and actually experience it as a UK fan with fellow UK people from our neck of the woods, and so it's just see what it's like. I mean, I'm hoping I meet some people for the first time there. Could be people that used to watch us, because literally tonight we've had literally only 2 people watch us, and both of them were idiots. So
yeah. maybe hopefully some once the stream goes up, once it can be played on playback, hopefully we'll get some more viewers.
Well, yeah, I mean once usually when we go live, it's kind of the norm. We might get one person or max of 2 people a stream that might actually come in. That used to be regular, but it's kind of normal for the actual mainstream not to actually have anybody. And then once it's finished, it seems to kind of generate some viewership a little bit. But like I say, your video, Lawrence, your upload, I did a video announcing this live stream and us going to UK Ponycon, and then this stream that I referenced. So this is literally these are like the first 3 videos that have gone up within a week. Within just 1 week, this is the most we've uploaded in about 10 months. It's something stupid like that. I think the last stream we did was about 2-3 months ago. Like me and Sam did. Was about 2 or 3 months ago. So yeah. But anyway, so UK Ponycon. Let's take a quick look see of the website. So for those that don't know about UK Ponycon, let's go into this. So introduction to UK Ponycon. There's actually a video on here, so if anybody BBC News twats. Anyway, introduction to UK Ponycon. So it says UK Ponycon is a fan-created and run convention celebrating all incarnations of the My Little Pony since they were first released in 1982, right through to Friendship is Magic series and the 2017 film and beyond. We host a range of events suitable for all generations of fans, whilst the convention is aimed at adult fans of the franchise from the early generation fans through to bronies and Pegasisters. We welcome fans and collectors of all ages from all over the world. Yeah. And it says what happens at the event. It says we have plenty of activities, panels, and workshops. That's a large market of stalls selling hard-to-find ponies and unique handcrafted items. Plan ahead and enter a contest, be that cosplay, art, or custom ponies. We also raise money for the riding of the Disabled Association through a tombola and charity auction. And tickets. So that's the introduction. What's on schedule? Let's have a look. So there's the full Saturday events. So it starts from 10:30 in the morning, which is a sing-along main stage, and it goes right through to 7, I believe, is when that finishes, and then it's the music concert on there. Wow, it's quite a long fucking hell, right from 10:30 right to 11 o'clock at night. That's a long night. That's a long day. Yeah. But yeah, so like Sam was saying, can I zoom in? Let me just zoom in slightly so you can see it better. I don't know if that's even helped. No, it hasn't. But anyway, so I don't think you can see it, but yeah, so you got catchphrase, and then Sam was talking about Britannia Buddies, which is like a community hub, like a community hub thing where you can come together and meet other like-minded fans of the series and meet people for the first time. But there's Britannia Buddies, which is at 3 points in the day. So yeah, interesting. And it's for an hour as well. So it's like, for an hour. So 3 hours of that. Karaoke, catchphrase, and we've got Rainbow Dash Attack, which, interesting. And then a tournament, karaoke. I'm not really into karaoke, but there we go. Yeah, so quite interesting. And then Sunday is a much lesser event, finishes at 6. Yeah, it's interesting. So that is the events. Now let's get on to one of the things that people will be interested in is the guests. So special guests, we are going to have Kelly Sheridan, who is the voice of Starlight Glimmer, Sassy Saddles, Misty Fly, and others from MLP Friendship is Magic, with more than 25 years in voiceover experience industry. She's also played the voice of Barbie in a majority of the feature-length films. Recent credits include Creel in Ninjago, Widget in Monster Beach, and Leona in Dragon Quest. So there we go. And then obviously we also have Ellie Ray Hennessy. Now this is an actress that I know the name, but I can't place what she's been in. But basically, Ellie Ray is an international award-winning actress, writer, director, producer, and bon vivant. She has performed in over 300 theatrical productions and hundreds of on-camera series and movies to her credit, and voiced literally thousands of commercial campaigns, animated series, animated movies, and games. Excuse me. So yeah, recently, 3 shows Ellie voiced in. So recently she was in the Cat in the Hat Halloween special. She doesn't really go into details about what she's done in the past. That's kind of annoying, but anyway. But yeah, she is currently playing Grandma Figgy. There she is in Gen 5, which is Hitch's grandmother. Chuck the Duck. Chuck the Duck, that's a good name. In Agent Pinky. Judge Joel's in Go Dog Go. Never heard of any of these. What else has she been in? It doesn't really say. I need to really look into her. That's not actually too bad. £15 for an autograph, £20. Nah, it's actually not too bad pricing for that, really. How much is Kerry? About the same. Interesting. I just had to put that in there because I was expecting quite a lot for these two. Or at least Kelly. Yeah, so there we have it. So UK Ponycon 2023. It's going to be interesting. I'm much more interested and looking forward to meeting Kelly Sheridan.
Yeah.
Because I love Starlight Glimmer. When she first came into it, I didn't like her, but she had such a great character development arc from when she turned up as kind of a bad guy villain, and then by the end of it, she's like fantastic. She's such a funny character. One of my favorite moments with Starlight Glimmer has to be where she becomes friends with Trixie.
Yeah.
And I love the episode where everything they kind of like cast a spell or something. I think one of them cast a spell by accident. I think it's Trixie. I think she casts a spell or something, and everything starts to vanish. Like all the furniture starts to vanish, and you just feel like Starlight Glimmer's starting to panic, and then it's just that was probably one of the most defining episodes for me as a character. She was just. I really like, and obviously they brought her into Equestria Girls as well. But yeah, so I think that's going to be tonight's stream. I think, guys, because we are coming up to 2 hours live, and it is 11:20. So if you want to go a bit longer, we can, but it's up to you two. I can see.
I think I'm about ready to call it, but yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm definitely looking forward to Ponycon, and say. Those of you who are going to be there, if you see us there, please come and say hi. And, we look forward to meeting you all and, mingling and having fun and just, let's have a blast of a weekend. I say for me, Ponycon's something that's got better and better every year. So I'm looking forward to it.
How about you, Sam? Any closing words?
Just looking forward to, going back, seeing everybody and having a good time.
Yep. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good to experience it finally for the first time alongside Sam and Lawrence. Yeah. It would be nice if anybody does recognise us from the channel. Apparently we are known. Apparently the organisers do know who we are. Whether we'll actually get invited for a panel, that's another thing.
Well, one of the organisers knows who we are.
One of them. But
one of them knows who we are.
One of them. But it only takes
don't go up to the head organiser, John, and go, it's me, Nosy, Baroni's UK.
Well, you're not known as Nosy on here, so you're not known as Nosy on here, so
yeah, you could be like, Baroni's UK.
Security.
Yeah, got a weirdo. Get him out quick. Yeah. Apparently he thinks he's famous, so we all know him. I am looking forward to it very, very much. And
indeed. It's
Yes,
gonna
and I am going to call it an evening because I'm exhausted. It has been a very long week.
Aye, okay.
Who here had an 8 o'clock start and had half a dozen meetings? Just me. Yeah, just me then. Who here was good, and when Teams meetings was on, didn't spend an hour and a half staring at the phone googling because the meeting was boring. Anybody? Okay, so yeah, we most definitely didn't do that.
It's telling me he wasn't playing a bit of Cyberpunk 2077 or something at the time of the meeting. It was just kind of off camera, kind of like, fucking hell, fucking dad.
Yeah, I just sitting here with the wet laptop and I just like game. And whenever it goes off, it's just like, yeah. Yeah, I'm a good boy, and when I'm at home on the team meetings, I certainly don't sit in my chair in my little home office, just tapping away on my phone because I don't want to listen to the meetings.
Yeah, nobody wants to listen to those. They're horrible. But yeah, so I think we're going to close this off. But any last words before we go? Anybody?
No, just there. We'll be seeing you all in a week.
See you all in a week.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see anybody. If you recognise us off the channel and you go into UK Ponycon, by all means come and say hello. Sam bites a little bit, but if you give him some chocolate, it'd be all right. And then Lawrence is a bit of a party animal. I've seen his videos. I've seen his YouTube shorts and his Facebook shorts. So people, if you lock up your daughters, that's all I'm going to say. Well, anyway, but yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to next week. It's going to be good to get away. I'm off from work the week after we get back as well, so it's just going to be good to just recuperate, and then it'll be Operation Christmas probably after that, because I've got one more holiday, and that's over my birthday, and then it's Christmas, people. I'm not looking forward to Christmas hours again. Anyway, we're going to go. So thank you ever so much to Sam and to Lawrence for joining me or coming on tonight. It's been a good stream, and it's been good to have a proper good chat. And we're going to have to try and do this a little bit more often.
Yeah,
I know we can't do these things every single week, but if we can kind of come together probably every two weeks or something like that, just to kind of keep things regular. Yeah, it'd be good to try and do these, but we probably will have to come back some point, obviously, for the conclusion of Make Your Mark. We are probably going to do a stream again to talk about the latter episodes and special for Make Your Mark, and talk about our thoughts on the new episodes. So probably all three of us will be back to talk about those, but that's not until November. So yeah, but I need to finish off Tell Your Tale. I was watching it. I think I'm probably about 10 episodes in. I don't know, but I need to finish off Tell Your Tale or get caught up, because apparently Tell Your Tale is still happening through next year as well.
Yeah.
So Tell Your Tale is going to be going for one more year, and then it's going to finish. So I think I won't be surprised if Tell Your Tale actually kind of continues past the events of. They might use Tell Your Tale a way to kind of continue past the main core story. They might do that. I won't be surprised if they do, because the fact that Tell Your Tale is continuing past makes me think they might use it as a medium to kind of properly finish it off. I don't know. We shall see. But anyway, so thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. For those that did, and to those arsehole trolls, thank you very much for an amusing laugh. That was great. So thank you for watching. And if you go to UK Ponycon this year, come and say hello. But from me, it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
From
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for your support.
Thank you. So Take care, everybody.
Lawrence and Nosey, I'll see you all in a week.
You will.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I'm off to bed. I'm
Bye.
Right. Take care, everyone.
See you
See
soon.
you all, ladies. Bye.